Hey everyone, this is Coach Dave, and I'm at the Norwich Fitness Center on the pickleball courts here at the Norwich Fitness Center. If you're interested in a great place to play, check out norwichfitnesscenter.com/pickleball to learn more about this facility. In today's video, we're going to talk about the top 4 myths of pickleball. These are things that either have been taught incorrectly or people just have a misunderstanding of how it works. Now let's get right into it, starting with our number 1 myth, which is we have to get to the kitchen line as fast as possible from the baseline. This happens when you're the serving team and you're hitting your third shot, and you hit your third shot, and you proceed to go as fast as you can from the baseline all the way to the kitchen. And what happens usually is that when the ball comes back to you, you're hitting it while you're moving. When you hit the ball while you're moving, that leads to inconsistency, which ultimately will lead to errors. And we want to be reducing our errors as much as we possibly can. So what we need to do when we're transitioning from the baseline to the kitchen is we want to make sure that when we hit the ball to our opponents and it goes over that net, that we are stopping our forward progress. We're doing what's called a split step, and we're getting in the athletic position and we're waiting for that next ball. The reason why we do that is we want our bodies to be nice and quiet, grounded, and in a position to hit that ball back that gives us the best chance of hitting a good ball in return. Again, we don't want to be hitting this ball while we're moving if we can help it. If we have a steady base, our legs are secure, we're low, and we have a paddle out, we're ready to go hit that ball, we'll have more success of hitting that ball where we want it and keeping the ball low, which is very important in pickleball. So a split step is when we're coming up, we hit our third shot drop, we're coming up, right when the ball goes over that net, I'm gonna take a little bunny hop into my athletic position. Right here allows me to be ready for anything, whether I have to volley the ball or if I have to hit it on the hop, if I have to go left or right. I'm in the perfect position to do so. So again, I hit my third shot, I'm coming up, it goes over the net, I do my split step, I hit my next ball. If it's low and good, I come up and I'm at the kitchen line. We don't want to do this. We don't want to hit our third shot and run through the ball that's just coming, hit it again. That leads to a lot of errors, especially those balls that are coming down at our feet. While we're moving and trying to hit something down at our feet, it's very, very difficult to control that ball. So we don't want to do it. We want to avoid moving while hitting when we can, when we're transitioning up to the kitchen line. The second myth in pickleball is that the harder you hit the ball, the better. Now, that strategy may work at the beginner and maybe a little bit in the intermediate level, but as you grow in skill level, as you start playing better players, that just brute force does not win you games. If that's the only thing that you're relying on and you're just a banger, you're not going to be successful in pickleball. To be successful, to be all around great player, you have to make sure that you're incorporating a soft game. You have to be hitting shots in which your opponents have to hit up on the ball, like third shot drops into the kitchen, or even those drip shots, those half drive, half drop shots that are just getting over the net and dipping down. In order for you to actually win, you have to really focus on more strategic placement of the ball, more control of the ball, and not just winding up and hitting the ball hard. That doesn't win you games, and it's certainly not going to help you to increase your rating and become a better player. The third myth in pickleball is that you have to transition up at the same time as your partner. That's not true. And you're losing a lot of strategic advantage and actually great offensive opportunities if you actually follow that methodology. Now, what you want to be doing when your teammate is hitting a third shot drop. So we're back here. Okay, let's just say that I serve that ball. The ball's coming back to my teammate. I'm moving up slowly and I'm watching what he's doing. I'm seeing where that ball is going. If I notice that it's a good low drive, or if I notice that the drop is a good drop, I'm actually going to be running up and then cutting into the middle of the court and trying to what's called poach that ball. I'm trying to actually move into the other half of the court and pick off a shot in which my opponent is hitting up on. Because they may be thinking that I won't be able to get over there, or that me going over there to get the ball is not even an option. So they'll feel more comfortable, be more relaxed, and hit a more high arcing shot for which I can go and poach that ball. Now, if I was coming up at the same time as my teammate, I would not be able to do that. It would be impossible because I'll be back here. So that is one of the greatest myths in pickleball, that you have to move up at the same time as your teammate. That is not true. The fourth and final myth here we're going to talk about today is the myth that you have to try to hit a winner on every single shot. This kind of goes back to hitting the ball hard every time is a better option than going soft when you're hitting the ball. So that's simply not true. So what you're trying to do with pickleball is, instead of trying to hit winners every time, what the mentality should be that you're trying to hit setup shots. So every shot that you hit, either it's at the baseline, the transition zone, or even at the kitchen, you're trying to hit setup balls to get your opponents to make a mistake. So whether that is a mistake, could be hitting it to the net, hitting it out of bounds, or the third mistake that they make is can pop the ball up. So if we're dinking the ball here, right, I'm not trying to hit winners with my dink, I'm trying to hit setup shots. I'm trying to get them to make a mistake. Okay, so that requires patience, it requires a placement over power, it requires paying attention and taking advantage of mistakes that they're making, especially with those pop-ups. Same thing when I'm back here. So when you're driving a ball, for example, don't drive the ball at 100% power. If you try to drive that ball 100% power, you're more than likely going to be a little bit more out of control and be making errors yourself. And we want to reduce the amount of errors. Consistency is how you get great at pickleball. So instead of trying to hit a shot that's 100% power and trying to win a point, try to hit a drive that's about 75%, in which your mentality is now to hit a setup shot. The setup shot could be you hit that shot, your opponent then blocks it, it might go high, and then your teammate comes over and poaches the ball and hits a winner. Or it could simply be that you're getting an easier drop. So if I'm at the baseline, I hit a third shot drive back here at 75%, my opponent is just gonna either punch volley or block it, but chances are that return back to me is gonna be shorter, in which I can come up and hit a shorter drop. So it's an easier drop. So again, it's a setup shot. So either it's a setup shot for an offensive opportunity, or it's a setup shot for me to hit an easier next shot as well. So those are 4 myths in pickleball that I hear all the time that I wanted to dispel. I hope that was helpful. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Enjoy the rest of your day.